everyone, and welcome to Shell Point Today for Wednesday, May 25th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, Mary Kay will visit with the newest member of the Shell Point leadership team, Executive Vice President Martin Schappell, and we'll get some fitness tips from Melanie and Heather Battey.
But first, we'd like to remind you of tomorrow's important resident hurricane seminar taking place in the Village Church Auditorium. We want everyone to be prepared and thoroughly informed should such a weather emergency arise. Shell Point has new plans for hurricane shelter locations, and all of the details will be shared at the Resident Hurricane Seminar at 10:30 a.m. Everyone is urged to make plans to attend.
Also tomorrow, the Aviation Club will have their monthly meeting. John McCarthy of Oakmont will share his experiences in the U.S. Air Force flying the B-52C bomber. His primary mission was to protect the ballistic missile early warning sites in Alaska and Greenland. Come hear John tell about these missions at tomorrow's meeting in the Osprey Room on the island at 1:15 p.m.
On Friday this week, you can do a little antiquing and enjoy lunch in Arcadia. Court pickups begin at 7:30 a.m. on the island for this outing to Arcadia's historic downtown district, where you'll enjoy visiting the 20 antique stores and a vintage-style tea house. The cost of the outing is $11 with lunch on your own. Make sure you're already signed up.
By now, I'm sure you're aware of the newest addition to the Shell Point leadership team. Martin Schappell is the Executive Vice President and is expected to succeed President Peter Dice as he retires at the end of this year. You can read about him in the April issue of Shell Point Life. But for more insight, Mary Kay had the opportunity to sit down with Martin Schappell to learn about his experience, background, and what he brings to Shell Point.
Welcome, everyone. We're here today to meet the newest member of the Shell Point leadership team. It's Executive Vice President Martin Schappell. Well, welcome, Martin, to Shell Point.
Thanks,
although you're not really new to Shell Point, and neither are we to you. Tell us a little bit about your history here.
Right. Actually, my introduction to Shell Point was probably close to 20 years ago when my wife and I moved down. My in-laws retired and decided to join our family, and so they brought along with them my wife's great aunt, Aunt Maisie, and she was a resident at King's Crown, and so that was our first introduction to the island and to the services provided at Shell Point. So fast forward, then David Moreland was our Sunday school teacher of ours, and so he felt strongly about introducing Peter to me, and Peter and I met and began a relationship about 9 years ago, which then led into an opportunity to serve on the board. And as a result, have been a board member with the foundation for about 8 years.
Well, one of the questions that I did want to ask and have you share with our audience is how you bring that experience and background of your previous career to Shell Point and what you'll be doing here as the Executive Vice President and successor to our president role.
Right. Well, let me explain a little bit about my background so that people have a chance to get to know more about me professionally. I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in counseling, and started my career as a clinician practicing as a marriage and family therapist. From there, realized that I had an interest and a passion for business as well, and so moved into healthcare administration in behavioral health. Started out in a development program and then ran a psychiatric hospital as the chief executive officer. From there, the role matured into multiple facilities, and not only over a particular state, the state of Florida, but then graduated into a national responsibility. More recently, in my position that I've held over the last 16 years, had approximately 70 facilities, 70 psychiatric hospitals that reported to me either directly or indirectly across the country. So some of the experience that I bring with me to Shell Point is about healthcare and about being responsive to the patient or to the consumer. Also, familiarity with business operations in terms of human resources, business development and marketing, finance, strategic planning. much of my experience is in the for-profit world, and so I bring a bit of a different paradigm, a different orientation with me, but actually cut my teeth early in my career in the not-for-profit world, working for a community agency. So I think I bring with me a relevant experience that I'm looking forward to utilizing here.
Well, you've been on board now since March 21st, a little longer than a month. What have you been up to, and who have you been meeting with, and how have you been getting oriented to Shell Point?
Sure. Well, for anyone who knows Peter, then the initial answer is obvious, in that he had a very robust agenda planned for me the initial couple of weeks, where there was an orientation and an exposure to all of the departments at Shell Point, such as human resources, marketing, finance, etc. And that was a great addition to my experience as a board member. So there was some foundation there already, but then that immersion over the first couple of weeks was maybe taking me from 50,000 feet to 25,000 feet in terms of experience. Since that first couple of weeks, I have now kind of dropped the altitude a little bit more and spending more and more time with individual department heads. A fair amount of time walking the campus. I love touring, walking through the different buildings, just to meet residents and to introduce myself, and as well working on some committees as well at this point, learning a little bit more about some of the special projects.
Okay.
Whether that's accreditation or whether that's related to the opening of the clubhouse or such things as information technology, et cetera. So some of those special projects are now moving me closer and closer to a more full understanding of the daily operation. So
and day-to-day with the residents as well.
And day-to-day with the residents. It has been a pleasure and a true privilege to get to meet the residents and to hear their stories. That's the thing.
I agree with you there.
That is so impressive, is that everyone has a story, and to listen to their stories and their history and what brought them to Shell Point, it just brings a smile to my face, in that it just confirms more and more that this is where I am to be, and that I am honored to have the opportunity to work with such amazing people.
That's true. Well, tell me a little bit shortly about what you think are Shell Point's biggest assets, some of the things that we bring, that we are offering our residents the best it can be, versus competition or other things in the future that we might be facing as challenges.
Right. I think that the first thing that comes to my mind is Shell Point's heritage. I think when you understand the decades of history here, and what the history is built on, which is the Christian and Missionary Alliance denomination and the constructs of that denomination, and you see those being expressed through the leadership. I think that's one of our greatest strengths, is our history. I think a second strength that I've noticed is the stability in the leadership here. Peter's tenure here is unheard of in most industries. I think especially when you're in healthcare, something that I'm familiar with, it's not uncommon to see senior leadership move frequently. This is such an amazing tenure here with Peter, being here the 30 years, that creates a sense of stability to the organization, a sense of predictability. It brings a level of I think, planfulness, because it's not about short-term decision-making, it's about longitudinal thinking. Right. So I think that makes this community unique, and I think that's one of the reasons for the community's success today, is that the vision Peter set 30 years ago was about something that would be sustainable through today and forward. And I think probably a third area is the scale of Shell Point. This is the largest single-site CCRC in the state of Florida, and that affords our staff and our residents with so many privileges, the amenities that we can provide, the experiences that we can offer, the diversity of what our population looks like in terms of our residents is unique.
Tell us a little bit about you personally, and then we'll know you as the person that you are.
I was born in Miami and raised on the southeast coast in Miami and Hollywood area. Went to college in Winter Park, Florida at a small school called Rollins College, which is where I earned my bachelor's in psychology, and then left the state for a while for graduate school in Atlanta at Georgia State, where I earned my master's in counseling. Moved on to North Carolina for about 10 years, where I was married and we started our family, to then move back to Florida about 23 years ago for a transition with my employment, a transfer. And so we have been in Fort Myers area now 23 years and have absolutely loved the west coast of Florida.
Well, that's great to hear. Tell us a little bit about the drivers that you see guiding us as we move forward in the future at Shell Point.
Sure. I think when I think about the priorities, the first priority for me is making sure that we live up to our mission and our core values of caring, serving, and satisfying. That's very important to me. Again, I think that when you have core values, that serves as the foundation of everything that you do here. The second driver, I think, would be our resident satisfaction. I want to make sure that we are listening, that we're responsive to our residents. That's why I'm here, is for them, and to ensure that their experience at Shell Point is one that's positive and fulfilling. And then thirdly, I really want to concentrate on employee engagement. We're not making widgets here, we're serving people. And I want to make sure that our employees are served so that they in turn can provide the appropriate level of service to our residents.
Well, that's great to hear. I am certain we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of you and getting to know you. The residents will get to know more of you as they get to meet you, Martin.
I hope so.
Well, thank you, everybody, and thank you, Martin, for joining us today. We'll learn more from Martin in the months and years to come. Thank you for joining us. And now it's time to get up and get moving and stretch those muscles. Here's Melanie Broad and Heather Battey with today's Fit Tip.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey.
And I'm Melanie Broad.
We're here with today's Fit Tip.
You ready?
I'm ready. What are we going to do today?
Today we're going to do another team building exercise. We're going to use this 5-pound ball. You've seen it maybe in a previous tip. If you don't have one, you can use a grapefruit, a beanbag, anything will work. Are you ready?
All right, here we go. We are going to turn to the side, away from each other, and then pass it, or you can toss it, but we're passing. Make sure you're on the balls of your feet.
Your core is engaged. You got to button that spine, navel to your spine, keep it tight. Full range of motion. This is a great warm up for golfers,
Yeah.
tennis pros.
Twisting that core. And make sure you guys are breathing through this. Don't hold your breath in your exercises.
I can feel it already, Heather. I don't know about you, but it's
can.
working.
This is a great one.
Woo! I think that's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, I hear all the time so many excuses why you're not exercising. First, people say they don't have time. Well, how much time do you spend watching TV? Why don't you get up and march in place while you're watching your favorite TV show? Or I hear, I'm just so tired. Well, you know, exercise actually gives you energy. It only takes 12 minutes for your endorphins to kick in, and then you'll be more energized for the rest of the day. And excuse number 3, exercise is boring. Grab a friend, grab a partner, walk your dog, or like I stated before, you can even work out while you're watching a movie, or grab a book and go on a treadmill. So next time you feel like you're too tired or you don't have time, think of this Fit Tip. Have a great day.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, Academy News, menus, and the Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley, and I'm here with Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to tell you the activities that we offer today at Shell Point. We're going to start bright and early with a 7:45 men's Bible study. That's in the Osprey Room on the island. And pickleball will be starting at 8 o'clock. That's on the game courts behind the Resident Activities Center. Men's round-robin tennis will be down at the Woodlands Tennis Courts also at 8 o'clock. Now at 8:45, you'll find Lily & Company Jewelers at the Resident Activities Center. 9 o'clock, you'll have the watercolor group with Bill Hilton down in the art studio in the tunnel. The ladies' Bible study will be in the Osprey room at 10 o'clock. Also at 10 o'clock, we have the men's match play tennis down at the Woodlands. At 10:15, we have a Health Connections event, the Aging Spine. It's management and treatment. Make sure you get to the social center for that activity. At 10:15, we have the Model Yacht Sailing Club at the Woodlands Commons Lake. And another Health Connection at 11:30, we have Bar Ball Edition, Session A in the Tarpon Room. And that's our last activity of the morning. Here's Caitlin continuing with the afternoon lineup.
Well, thanks, Bev. We have plenty to do in the afternoon, starting with Advanced Strength and Conditioning Session C. That's a Health Connections class starting at 12:45 in the Tarpon Room. At 1 o'clock, we have chess in the Library Lounge. And then we move to 1:15 for the Hearing Enrichment Group. They'll be meeting in the Manatee Room. There's another Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free Session A in the Tarpon Room. That starts at 1:45. Jazz and Stuff will be giving a free jazz concert in the Grand Cypress Room at 2:30. And at 3 o'clock, Pilates Stretch will be held in the Tarpon Room. We move all the way to 5 o'clock for the singles table. That'll be available at the Crystal Dining Room. The church choir rehearsal will be held in the church choir room of the Village Church at 5:45. And we round out our Wednesday at 7:15 with prayer and praise service at the Village Church. We're so happy to see you here today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy classes for Wednesday. At 9 o'clock, our paper bag scrapbook album class continues in the Saber Room of the Woodlands. At 10 o'clock, Bridge for Beginners continues in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And at 1 o'clock, Intermediate Bridge continues in the Game Room at the Woodlands. At 1:30, Floral Design in a Teacup will begin in the Saber Room at the Woodlands for those who have signed up.
Menu specials for Wednesday, May 25th. In the Crystal, the platter is Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes and green beans. For dinner, it's the All-American Buffet for $14.95. The soup is chicken Florentine. In the Allen Cafe, there's a chicken cordon bleu sandwich with a tossed side salad for $7.75. In the Palm Grill, there's swordfish a la Siciliana for $17.95 or chicken Bryan for $15.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at shellpoint.net.
Hi, I wanted to let everyone know that the Village Church is going to have a healing service on Sunday night, May 29 at 6:15 p.m. for their evening worship. That's right, a healing service. Now, for some of you, that might conjure up all kinds of images and make you a little bit concerned about just what's going to go on. But I can assure you it's not going to be some kind of a weird show or anything like that. It's a service where people can come and have the elders pray for them, and they will have just a little bit of anointing of oil, so that it isn't a major thing. So it's just a tiny bit of oil for anointing, and then prayer for those who come and want prayer for healing. It's important for everybody to know that when Jesus was conducting his ministry, that he often healed people, and when he did it, most of the time he did it in ways that most of the people around never knew that it happened. He only had Peter, James, and John invited many of the times when there was a healing. And he wasn't about doing some kind of a show. And so that's why I want to reassure everybody. This is going to be done with great integrity, where everyone is comfortable when they come. And the last thing we want to do is have someone feel nervous about what's going on. But we do want people to come and to participate and to have the opportunity to be able to have the elders of the church pray for them. And we're going to do this occasionally at the Village Church on Sunday evenings. And May 29th is the first time that's going to happen in quite some time. So the Christian Missionary and Alliance has one of the emphasis is on Jesus as healer. And this is a Christian Missionary Alliance church. So that helps you sort of make sense and understand why it is that we're having a healing service on this Sunday night. I want to tell you, in my own experience, the thought of a healing service did conjure up a lot of images for me, and it's something I never wanted to participate in or take part in my past. But the ones that I did, they were done with great integrity, and the person or people offering prayers for others did it with great humility and integrity. I know one of my denominational officials in the denomination I belonged to before took me to a place called Healing Rooms, where people prayed for me, and it was quite a profound experience for me. I was having a great sense of an intense presence of God working in my life. And that time when I went, and many times following that, it brought about a change for me. And it's been a huge blessing in my life to have participated in that. So I would hope that you take our invitation seriously, and that you might come to this worship service, and where the elders would be able to anoint you with oil, lay on hands, and offer prayer. You certainly are invited.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. Tomorrow, Dan Philgreen will take us on a tour of some of the interesting but seldom seen locations here on our Shell Point property. And Professor Adrian Kerr will give us another preview of his English History and Culture series. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Wednesday, May 25th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for spending your time with us, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.